Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Clonks and welcome to another episode of my FC24 Manchester United Career Mode series. This is episode 3 in season 2, so if you missed any of the last episodes, go and check them in the season playlist down below as always. But for those of you who have seen it, you'll know that in the last 2 episodes and the start of this season, we've had a bit of technical issues going on. Frustrating. I wanted to stream, but I've had to revert back to this post-com because I can't get my game capture to work properly. I've gone on to buy a new one, but I haven't set it up properly yet, so until I do, we're going to continue with these post-coms, and hopefully I don't lose any more footage, but we'll see. But anyway, that's done and dusted. Let's move on to today's episode, which is quite a big one, to be honest. So just before we jump into that, just in the last episode, if you guys remember, we did start our Premier League season with a win against Newcastle 2-1, a win against Brentford 1-0, and then we lost our last game 2-0 to Brighton. Now today, we are starting our European campaign. So here is our group in Europe. It's been drawn. It's a it's a very easy group, let's be honest. It's a group we should be topping. I can't see a game here that we should lose, but at the very least we should be top of this group regardless. If we don't make top of this group, then something's gone majorly wrong. So yeah, we got Bruges, Hearts and Shamrock Rovers, and then the rest of the Europa League, here are the teams. There's no one really there that's jumping out at me as a threat really. Benfica, yeah, and maybe PSV, Celtic, probably not. Newcastle, obviously, and Frankfurt, and Real Sociedad, and Marseille. And I understand that teams drop into it from the Champions League, but at this moment in time, I think we're looking pretty strong in that Europa League. Sorry, and then the rest of the games we got today is Crystal Palace, Leeds United, and Aston Villa. So we've got 4 games for you today. So let's jump into it. So the Crystal Palace team then is Johnston, Bard, Anderson, Holding, Klein, Ayew, Doucouré, Lerma, Ruben Garcia, Franca and Mateta up top. And then our team was Onana, Livramento, Martinez, Raul, Diallo, Casemiro, Rabiot, Fernandez, Werner, Marlon and Girassi. If we can go and win this, it's a pretty good start to the Premier League season, so let's go do that. Okay then, so first chance of this game comes 15 minutes in. We come on the break with a nice ball from Rabiot into Werner. Werner then finds Girassi and he gets it back off him nicely. He then plays it into Bruno Fernandes, who gives a quick little flick into Dolly Marlon, who strikes a fantastic finish, and we do take a 1-0 lead in this game. A really good goal again, really nice team play to get it to Marlon, who just smashes it and put onto his right foot and puts it past Johnston, stands no chance, and we do take a 1-0 lead. Okay, so the next chance falls for us in the 33rd minute. Nice bit of pressing here, means Diallo ends up with it, whips it into Girassi. He's got to put this in, and somehow Johnson gets a foot on it. And then we get another chance from that corner with Rabiot with a good header, but Johnson is there again. And then we get another chance from this corner, and Girassi can't put it in, just wide if you see here with a replay, very close. But it remains 1-0, and that's how it stayed until the second half, where we had another chance here. Diallo plays it out to Marlon. Marlon plays it back to Diallo. Diallo plays a nice ball into Casemiro. Plays to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes into Timo Werner. Goal. Fantastic bit of play again. Our interplay, our passing at the minute is immaculate. We cannot go wrong, and we're creating really nice goals for ourselves, which is fantastic, and a really nice finish there from Timo Werner to make it 2-0. Then in the last couple of minutes of the game, we got a throw-in. We throw it to Diallo, who literally just come on. He does a nice bit of skill to go around his man and actually goes to the byline, gets around him, lays it in to Girassi, takes a shot, gets blocked, ends up with it. Somehow doesn't get a shot away, gets lucky, and then does put it in to finish this game off. A nice 3-0 victory for us. Again, it was a nice bit of strength from Girassi. He got a bit lucky to end up with the ball, a little bit fortunate, but there's nothing fortunate about the finish. Johnson goes down way too early though, and Girassi puts it in the far corner, and that is how this game finishes, 3-0. So let's jump into the Leeds game. So after that fantastic start to this episode, this was the Leeds lineup. So I got Melia in goal, Miguel, Koch, Warber, Shackleton, Somerville, Greehey, Lopez, Sinisterra, Arison and Jorginho up top. And then our team was Onana, Shaw, Kilman, Araujo, Diallo, Højbjerg, Rabiot, Fernandes, Marlon, Timo Werner and Griezmann. Let's go win this derby. So Leeds actually had something to say about that, because it was actually them who go and get the first chance of this game. They play around me nicely. Jorginho ends up with it, cuts it back, lays a nice back heel to Miguel. Sierra, nice intricate play to get around the defence and forces Onana into a save. And then in the 20th minute, despite Leeds actually having most of the early chances, we got a corner. Bruno Fernandes lays it back to Werner. Werner whips it in. Rabiot gets up, headers it, and it does end up in the back of the net. Rabiot gets his first goal for us. And realistically, if you look at this, it's a good header, but Melly will be a bit disappointed he hasn't saved that. It's come straight at him, and he's parried it into the goal. We'll take it all day long, but Leeds will be very disappointed because they were actually the team on top in the first 20 minutes. But we go on the break, earn a corner, get a goal, 1-0. And that is how the first half ended then. So then in the 57th minute, Leeds get a chance. They get advantage. It ends up with Harrison, who forces a save on the spin from Onana. And then we get a chance here. So Bruno Fernandes plays it to Marlon. Marlon plays it back to Diallo. Into Fernandes. Plays it to Marlon nicely. Marlon then whips the ball across to Girassi. Melia with a good save that time. Then later on into the game, Warber just takes way too long to make a decision, and Marlon presses and wins the ball nicely. He plays it inside to Girassi, who plays a nice ball to Bruno Fernandes onto his left foot. Nice slice into the far right corner, and it's a really nice finish to finish Leeds off. Our captain, he's been fantastic at the beginning of this season, and he's keeping it up with yet another goal to secure another 3 points, which means we've had a fantastic start to our Premier League season. Let's go do the same in the Europa League next. So the Bruges team then for our first game in the Europa League, they've got Mingley in goal, they've got Ayer, former Brentford player, they've also got Zinkernagel, who I think used to play for Nottingham Forest, so a couple of players there, but nothing too threatening. And this was our team then, a bit rotated with Bayendia coming in and a couple more players rotated, Anthony and Diallo actually starting. Let's go do this. So first chance actually falls for us in the 23rd minute. Anthony gets the ball, takes a really bad touch though, but gets a bit lucky to end up with the ball. He then takes around the defender nicely, cuts back inside, takes it around, lays it into Girassi, first time finish, fantastic goal. It's a really beautiful goal. Anthony, although he was fortunate to end up with the ball, does a nice bit of skill to get around his man, first time into Girassi, and there's just no saving that. Fantastic finish. We do take a 1-0 lead in this one, and very much the same as the other two games. Nothing else happened then until the second half. We went in 1-0 again, but we got a chance here in the 54th minute. Nice ball into Kubo, and watch this goal back. Amad Diallo scored a beautiful goal against us last season on loan at Nottingham Forest, and watch this. This is even better. A Rabona, what a strike to put it past Mingley. Fantastic bit of skill. Diallo is really proving that he has something to say for this starting lineup. He's having a fantastic time at the minute. So then in the 68th minute, we actually win the ball back in our own box, and then we go on the break. So Anthony ends up with it, plays it into Casemiro, who whips it over the top back to Anthony. Anthony then heads it on and gets back inside past the defender nicely, whips a little chip into Kubo, who takes it in his stride and slots it past Mingley to make it 3-0 in this game. A really nice goal again, nice bit of play from our own box to a goal. We're scoring some fantastic goals at the minute, and we are playing very well. Confidence is high, and we do take the first 3 points in the Europa League for definite now. They had a last couple of chances to try and get an try and get consolation up, with a chance there, and they actually get a carbon copy chance. I think it's actually the same player as well. It's pretty much exactly the same chance. Ends up with it. Escu, I'm not sure how to say that, but Atalay saves it again. But that is how the game ends. We do take a 3-0 victory and get the first 3 points in the Europa League, which is fantastic. And let's just take another look at this goal. What a goal from Diallo. It's well worthy of the thumbnail, I think. So going into this final game of the episode, we are in third. Now we're playing Aston Villa, and they're in second, so we need to win here, otherwise they will pull away from us, as well as Liverpool, who have already played and won. So we want to win this game, otherwise Liverpool and Aston Villa will take a 6-point gap between us and them, which isn't ideal. This was their team then. It's a very strong team, as you can see. The bench is even strong as well. They've got Jota, Diaby and Tielemans, Diego Carlos and Digne on the bench, so a very strong team. You can see why they are up there. And then our team was basically our starting lineup, with Højbjerg coming in over Casemiro, and yeah, I think that's it. That was our starting lineup, so let's go see how we do. Okay, so the game kicks off here with Aston Villa kicking off for us. They play it back to Alcaron, who plays it to Kamara. They actually come straight at us here with a nice couple of passing play to get a chance. Alcaron ends up with it. He plays it into McGinn. McGinn plays it to Ramsey. Ramsey with a nice bit of skill to get around me. He was causing me so much problems in this game, I've got to tell you. And he is straight away here. He had a shot away. It got saved. A couple of minutes later, they have another shot. Onana is forced into action yet again. And then from the resulting corner, they actually get yet another strike. We can't clear our lines. It ends with Konsu, takes a shot on the spin, and Onana saves yet again. So after all that pressure, 3 shots in the first 6-7 minutes, we then go up the other end. We play a nice ball into Shaw. Shaw goes for the cross, and the ref actually deems handball and gives a penalty for this for Matty Cash is the culprit. Now we looked at it, and honestly, as soon as it happened, I pretty much already decided no penalty. You can see that Cash has moved his arm away from the ball. He hasn't put it towards it, and it's kind of hit him. It's harsh. He's tried to get out of the way of it, so we decided no penalty. So a couple of minutes later, we get a chance with Bruno Fernandes. He's picked up a knock here, but it doesn't stop him taking a really nice strike and forcing Martinez into a save. Then he plays a nice ball into Timo Werner, who cuts back inside, plays it into Griezmann. Griezmann with a heavy touch, but does end up with it. And it's a bit of a scuffle here, and the ref actually gives a penalty this time. Matty Cash again. This time it's not handball. I don't overturn decisions that are not handball, but I did want to have a double check it. I wouldn't have overturned it. It would have been a penalty regardless. But I looked at it, and it is a penalty. I think what Cash gets a bit unlucky. He doesn't touch the ball, and because he doesn't touch the ball, he then gets the man. It's got to be a penalty. So Bruno Fernandes, despite picking up a knock, steps up to take it, does his little dummy, and it's a fantastic penalty. It's actually a stormer of a penalty in the top right corner, and we do take a 1-0 lead in this game. Fantastic goal. Bruno Fernandes on the score sheet again. He's got to take him. And he does actually come off, though. Because of that knock, I was a bit worried. I didn't want to force. He'd been on the pitch for about 20 minutes with that knock. Scores the penalty, goes off. Job done for Bruno Fernandes. Hopefully he's not off for too long. So then in the second half, Aston Villa come at me straight away again with Jacob Ramsey, causing me all sorts of problems here. Plays into Alcaron. He forces a save for Onana and puts in such a dodgy goal to concede. It's so frustrating. Onana just parries it out back into Alcaron's path, and it's frustrating, but Aston Villa do equalise, and it's 1-1. And in the 62nd minute, it's Jacob Ramsey again causing me problems. We can't get the ball off him. His footwork is fantastic. He gets around me yet again like he did for the goal. He then cuts back again. I just can't get anywhere near him. It gives the ball into John Duran, who takes a strike, but straight at Onana that time. Then late on into the game, we need a win here. It's still 1-1. We win the ball up high. Girassi cuts inside, but Pau Torres wins the ball back. So back come Aston Villa at us. Frustratingly, they play some really nice football here to get the ball to Jacob Ramsey, who plays a nice ball out to Matty Cash, the penalty culprit. Plays a ball back into Jacob Ramsey, who again has caused us all sort of problems. John Duran takes a strike. Onana saves it, but guess who's there? Diaby to put it away, and I was so frustrated with conceding this goal. I mean, for the keen eye, you'll realise that we've actually technically given away a record the United have held for years. We were leading at half-time, we end up losing, annoyingly. But what frustrated me most about this goal is Diallo. He makes no attempt to go for the ball. Absolutely none, which means Diaby is there, and Aston Villa do win. And it's frustrating, and we'll go see what that's done for the Premier League table now. So this is how it's looking after that frustrating loss to Aston Villa late on. We do remain in third, but the gap between us and Liverpool and Aston Villa now is 6 points, so it's grown a bit. It's not the worst. We've had a good start and a really good episode. It's frustrating that we had to end it like that. It is what it is. That's football at the end of the day. We'll move on to the next episode. Speaking of the next episode then, in that we will have 4 games in 3 different competitions. So we've got our Carabao Cup game against Stockport. We'll have 2 Premier League games against Arsenal and Leicester City, and then a Europa League game against Shamrock. Tough games against Arsenal and Leicester. That's not going to be easy, but overall I think we should be winning most of those games, and we should be advancing especially to the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. We should pick up another 3 points. But that's it for this episode now, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, remember to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll move on to the next episode. A good start to the season, like I said. Just a bit frustrating that we've actually ended up losing the last 2 games in the last 2 episodes, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. But until next time, guys, I've been Clonks. Take care. See you soon.